Rain Man really branched out on his own since Blackout has kind of decided to go other separate ways, and he's competing here coming up in the World Television Championship Tournament. Murder One really wants to do the same, and a win over David Young here would definitely do that for him. It would catapult him into superstardom. Murder One actually has a lot of history with David Young. Both of these men got their start professionally with the North Georgia Wrestling Alliance. There are big sucker punch there by David Young. Young went on to other things, eventually landing up in WCW and then in Wildside. Murder One went to Smoky Mountain Wrestling and befriended New Jack and began a whole life of crime there of his own. Another quick jab. And look at Murder One. Doing those hook punches there on David Young. Reversal by the Messiah, the Spinebuster. High back body drop onto the criminal Murder One.
It looks like the damage that David Young's doing to Murder One is pretty close to criminal too.
And wrestling fans out in the crowd now. I've just picked it up, and I don't know if our cameras are picking it up, but the genetic freak of Wildside, Onyx, is sitting out in the crowd. He's in the front row, and Murder One just last week on Wildside cost Onyx his matchup against Tony Stradlin in the first round of the World Television Championship Tournament.
I mean, hard time picking out Onyx. It's just too much dry ice here in the building here. But I wonder if Murder One has any idea that Onyx is in the front row. There he is.
Shining insecurity by David Young. David Young with his experience in 0-1 wrestling in Japan and NWA TNA gave him a lot of national exposure. He's been off doing other things here in Wildside. He certainly calls Wildside home. Big neck breaker by Murder One. A lot of people seem to think that Murder One is just a pure brawler, but he's so much more than that. He can really wrestle technically. Did a lot of training with Dory Funk Jr. that aligned himself with Jeff G. Bailey and beat the crap out of him. But that's another story altogether. Murder One is also as dirty as they come, Steven. He knows every cheap trick in the book. If he's got to get a pipe and hit you with a pipe, he'll hit you with a pipe. If he's got to get a brick, that's fine. He doesn't care. He's got no remorse for anybody, and that is to David Young's detriment. David Young's a powerful brawler, probably the best all-around athlete Wildside has ever seen. He's a mat technician. He's got experience. He can wrestle a power game, and he can fly for a 246-pounder. That's damn impressive.
That it is. Talking about cheap tricks. It's all just a blatant choke from Murder One. I don't think Murder One's even interested in really winning the match, but dismantling his opponent is precisely what he wants. Oh, Murder One has finally seen Onyx at ring in the front row.
Murder One having words with Onyx, and I thought these two had settled their issue, but apparently not, and just let it lie dormant for a little while. Maybe it was escalating backstage. I don't know, but it's none of my business, and I certainly don't want to get in the middle of it.
Fair enough. However, Onyx at ring in the front row here at the NWA Arena is good news for David Young, because this is going to take Murder One's mind off of his game here this evening. Murder One's going to have eyes in the back of his head, constantly use his peripheral vision to make sure that Onyx is staying put. Good opportunity for David Young, perhaps.
Murder One beating David Young like he owes him money. Baseball slide to the groin. And now calling out Onyx.
And Onyx more than delighted to be involved here. Happily his friends at ringside are keeping him there at the front row. Time for some cool heads to prevail here this evening.
Right now we got Christmas Chaos 2002 coming up December the 28th. There's the spinning Doja Bomb by Murder One, but David Young kicks out. And David Young back in Wildside here in this matchup against Murder One. He's got to have it on his mind. He's already signed to face the returning phenomenal AJ Styles, whose attitude elsewhere has spoken for itself, but he says he's not aligned with the NWA Elite. He attacked David Young some time ago. They're going to lock it up at Christmas Chaos 2002. What an encounter that's going to be, reliving some of their classic matches that they've already had. And now Murder One continuing the assault on the Messiah of the Spine Buster.
And the assault is doing quite well if you're Murder One. This, along with Onyx in the front row, too, as well. And the Messiah, the Spine Buster, goes hurtling into that security railing, shoulder first. Murder One rolls in to break, get the count stopped, rolls back out, going back after Young.
Both of these men's careers, like I said before, started out in the very same place. They took very different paths. However, the one thing they share are they are both savvy 12-year ring veterans. Another 2 count as Murder One tries to pin the shoulders to the man of David Young. Giving a sign for a little smoke. He took a toke, and that toke probably cost him as David Young moved out of the way. Murder One goes for a punch. David Young blocks, and now opening up on Murder One with punches of his own. The old thumb to the eye does the trick. As I said, Murder One's such a dirty specimen, a sneaky character. Boot to the midsection. Boot to the face by Murder One. Big clothesline by the urban legend. David Young rolling the shoulder there at an inch. Just a split second before the head of Speedy Nelson came down for 3.
Frankly, that's all it takes. Even if you're down there, even if you're capable of kicking out a 1, you might as well stay down there for as long as you can. Get us more of a wind in your system.
Big bulldog by the Messiah on a spine buster.
Murder One goes head first into the middle of that ring. And David Young looks like he's signaling for perhaps that spine buster. He tried it a few minutes ago. Murder One's had it to take a header.
Young going for one of his patented moonsaults there. But one moves out of the way. Murder One's got him. Spine buster of his own.
Murder One with a spine buster on Young. It's not quite Messiah-like.
Well, Murder One not the master of that maneuver, but using it as a psychological ploy and as an insult all in one.
Well, Young certainly didn't feel that one coming. Never would have thought Murder One would have attempted a spine buster.
There's yet another reversal. Murder One with a boot to the face. Wait a minute. He's got David Young two-lander.
And just at that moment,
Onyx is dancing in the front row.
And obviously a friend at the mixing board, too. And Murder One not particularly happy about this. Onyx doing a little dance in the front row. And Murder One doesn't like this at all, taking the shine away. Oh, my goodness. Putting the pecs on our genetic specimen here. But Murder One doesn't realize David Young, the spine buster.
Ladies and gentlemen, your winner, the Messiah of the Spine Buster, David Young!